Hi, today I'm going to talk about the new Gemstones Obsessions palettes from Huda Beauty. The ones that I have with me are Amethyst and Emerald. There are 5 palettes in the series. There's Amethyst, Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby and Topaz. I have Sapphire on the way as well. Unfortunately, Amethyst had a shadow cracked on arrival, so Cult Beauty have offered me a 20% refund for this palette. Now these cost £25 each. They're made in China and they come in this little slipcase, and it's a nightmare to get them out of the slipcase, believe me. Now these are the exact same size as the previous Obsessions palettes from Huda Beauty. This is more Obsessions. Now these are not for the faint of heart. They're very bold. Now Amethyst, as you've guessed, is purple. Jewel tones there, all of these. And Emerald, obviously, is primarily green. You have 2 emerald greens, a couple of mints in here, and some khaki and olive greens. So that's how it's divided. Now, a couple of people have been wondering if the Desert Dusk palette is very similar to the Amethyst palette. I don't think so at all. This is the Desert Dusk palette. Very warm neutral there. And this is predominantly purple, so not much in common there. That said, there is a little topper shade here and a topper here as well, which I am wearing all over my eyelids, not as a topper, as a standalone. I'll demo my eye makeup look in a minute. But before that, let's get on with the swatches. Now, there are very mixed reviews of these, so I'll get on with the swatches straight away. Let's do Amethyst here and Emerald here. Let's start with Amethyst. So there are no shade names. Hang on, let me just grab a tissue and then we'll start swatching. That's better. Because otherwise, I'm going to end up wiping off the eyeshadow on my dress. So that's the first one. Now the second eyeshadow is a proper purple, which I am wearing on my crease. Beautiful shade this, and this is possibly my favorite eyeshadow in this lot. This is a proper purple. So the next one is a matte. There are 3 mattes in these Obsessions palettes. The matte is a bit too powdery, obviously, and I'm not too happy. It is soft to the touch, it isn't dry or anything, but it is a bit too powdery. So there's that. And the next is a neutral. It's actually a pinky neutral that I am wearing in my inner corners. Very shimmery there. Let's see if we can fit that here. Yeah. Very frosty. Pink tones to it though. I'm wearing that in my inner corners. And the next is that topper shade that I'm wearing as a standalone all over my eyelids. This is the one that was smashed. So I'm not too happy about that because this is a shade that I really like. These are the 2 sort of picks of the lot, you know, from this palette. Alright, that came out well. It is a topper and a duochrome. You can see that there. But it also works well as a standalone. I love the duochrome. The next is a shade that we have indeed seen before. Again, that's a bit duochrome there, isn't it? There are golden undertones to that one. Very nice. Next we have another matte. That's this one. Alright, that matte did better than the previous matte. That one came out a bit patchy. This one's done better. Next is yet another matte, the one over here. Right. Now that matte did even better. And finally, there's a shimmer. Very rich indeed. That came out beautifully. So those are the 9 from the Amethyst palette. Hang on, I'll just show you a bit closer. This is definitely my favorite shade. Rich, vibrant violet there. And this one obviously is, this one obviously is the duochrome, and this one is very frosty indeed. Ideal for the inner corners. Now let's do Emerald. So that one is Emerald, again 3 mattes, everything else is shimmery. So let's start with the frosty one and, get that out of the way. I think the emerald palette and the amethyst palette have been the most popular in this set. Huda has a new nudes palette that's coming out. It's that's what it looks like, and I'm sort of on the fence about this. On the one hand, I love that there are some cool neutrals rather than the same old warm ones. I mean, there are warm neutrals in here as well, but there are cool ones as well. And I like that. And some of those are, the soft neutrals that I like, kind of reminiscent of Lancôme Audacity in Paris and Audacity in London, which are possibly among my favorite neutral eyeshadow palettes. Very soft shades there. Very wearable for, ideal for everyday wear. So I'm sort of eyeing this palette. Let me see. It launches on November 1st, and let's see how things are advent calendar-wise and everything else-wise, and then I'll take a decision. The next is this very pretty emerald green matte. Now that's the swatch, and sorry, not raising my middle finger right here. Now let's see how it comes out. Not very pigmented. I expected that to be a bit more pigmented. And that's not very emerald either, is it? That's a disappointment. A lot of people have said that this shade let them down. I have to agree there. I feel that, there was an emerald shade in the Now That's What I Call Revolution, sorry, Now That's What I Call Makeup palette from the I Heart Revolution brand from Makeup Revolution, which I've reviewed here. And the emerald over there, the emerald green over there, did much better. Now we move on to a minty shimmer, which is this one. On the frosty side again. Now we move to this row. Let's start with that gorgeous olive shimmer. That swatches amazingly well. Oh yes. I think this has to be the sort of equivalent of, this violet. Very rich there. The only problem is that, again, if you're, fond of emerald colors, this is olive. And if you bought this palette for the emeralds, the olive came out nicely. Now let's see how the emerald shimmery one that's in the middle of this palette does. That's washed very well, so I have very high hopes from this one. I'm kind of iffy about this one. On the one hand, it's got purple and pink micro shimmer, which was very unexpected because you can't really spot them in the pan. But once you swatch, you can actually see the purple and pink micro shimmer. Hang on. On the other hand, I was expecting a richer emerald shimmer. So that way, it's more teal than emerald as such. Right, now we move on to this mint green. That is going to look atrocious on my skin tone, obviously. It's a matte. This sort of shade never looks good on me. Pastels, I can never pull off. Oh, yes. I don't think this will be very nice on olive, yellow, tan, warm toned people at all. Now for this very khaki green over here. It's also matte. It swatches well. I mean, on the fingers. Let's see how it... Not bad. Much better than the other mattes that we've seen. So next is this one, which is very vampy. Again, it came out nice and rich. I like this. This is very pretty. And it's not that vampy if you think about it. You can definitely spot the green there. Yeah. Oh yes, beautiful duochrome. Love it. Finally, this thing over here. This is an absolute mess, I can tell. Very frosty. Yeah. Just as I thought. So let me wipe my fingers again, and then I'll come back and talk about the colors and how the eyeshadows performed. So let's talk about Amethyst for a minute. All purples, as you can see. This very, very rich, vibrant violet is obviously my favorite shade. You know, I love this shade so much. I could wear it all the time. Followed by this one, very rich there, lovely shimmer. And, you know, I wasn't too fond of this at first, but in retrospect, I like this because it would go very nicely with this one. This frosty one is obviously an inner corner color on me. Again, this beautiful, vibrant magenta there. Gorgeous violet. Buildable matte there. Not bad. I mean, once I built it up, I liked it. This gorgeous duochrome, obviously, I'm utterly in love with it. And then there's another one which is got, you know, golden tones to it, very nice. This matte I don't like, honestly. The other two I like. This one's matte, this one's not matte. Very nice, rich colors there. So of these eyeshadows, there's this one that I don't really like. It's a matte. All the others, 8 eyeshadows I like. There are some that I utterly love, including this purple and this gorgeous duochrome. So Amethyst, very good. No regrets whatsoever. 8 out of 9 eyeshadows that I really love. And, you know, it is very workable. As you can see, I've done a makeup look with it, which I will be demoing in a minute. Very nice. So here's how I did this makeup look with Amethyst. So everything else is done on my face. My foundation is done. My lipstick is done. The only thing that remains is eyeshadow. So we're going to start with, oh dear, this is the problem with this palette. I'm going to go in with this color on my crease. So because my foundation is already done, we can check out the amount of fallout. And in case there's a lot of fallout, I'll need to do major repairs on my face. So I'm hoping there's no fallout. Now to blend out the harsh edges with the Sigma Diffused Crease E38 brush. So next I'm going to go in with this one, which is a duochrome. And the brush that I'm going to use is a Sigma Firm Shader E57. It's actually quite stiff, which is what I want for this. So let's first try this out with a brush, and in the event that it doesn't work, we'll do this with the fingertips. Oh, hang on, it works wonderfully. Kind of foil in texture, this one, which is what I like about this palette. I feel like browns should sort of, you know, combine textures and finishes and colors in palettes more often than, you know, having a lot of mattes and some shimmers and call it, you know, warm neutral, all in warm neutral tones, and then call it a great palette. So, and now very quickly, I just want to diffuse the harsh edges there. And for the inner corner, I'm going to use this shade over here. And for the other eye, because this shade had smashed on arrival, I was a little worried that this wouldn't work very well, but it's not so bad. I can see the duochrome effect. So that's a completed purple eye makeup look. I've done my eyebrows, my mascara, my eyeliner and so on, and even the lower lash line with the same shade that I used in the crease. So one of the boldest looks I've done, I know, but you know, I love purple so much. I love wearing purple. And also, you know, with these eyeshadows, it's go bold or go home. You know, it's not like you can do a subtle look with these, unless you use, you know, only this color or something. So, you know, no complaints whatsoever there. And I think the eyeshadows did fairly well on the lids without any problems. Now, emerald, obviously, is where there is some disappointment, or where there is a bit more disappointment. This frosty color, in a corner shade, obviously. This one, biggest disappointment, because I wanted it to work out very well. It was this emerald matte. Very powdery and soft to the touch, yes, but very powdery, and, you know, it swatches powdery as well. It performs slightly better on the eyes with a primer. This one, I love. Rich vampy color there. And you can see the green there and brown. Very nice duochrome. I also like this khaki olive matte eyeshadow there. Followed by these two. So 4 eyeshadows here that I like, the others I don't, I'm afraid. This one, atrocious, not going to look good on me. This one, again, frosty, couldn't care less, couldn't give an ass. So if it is called emerald, you want some emerald colors in there. That's my big problem with this. That said, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 eyeshadows that I really like, and one that I'm on the fence about. That's this one. The others... So the problem with this palette is that there are too many of these light, pale, frosty colors in here. There are 3, and then this one, 4. Why are there 4 frosty-ish, pale-ish, light-ish colors in an emerald palette? There should be more, you know, very vibrant, rich green colors in there. So that's what I'm disappointed about. This palette, there are 5 shades that I like. This one needs building up. It does better on the eyelids. The problem now is that these days, you know, I look for eyeshadow palettes where I can use at least 80 to 90% of the eyeshadows in there. Otherwise, you know, it's a total waste. And here, I can't use 4. I mean, I can in the inner corners, but, you know, how many inner corner shades do you need per palette? I'd have preferred, you know, rich, vibrant greens, more of those, more variants. You've got a beautiful vampy green there and a nice khaki matte green there. And a teal that is all right, and an emerald that you can build up. Surely there are different green variants, other variants that could have fit in here in lieu of at least these 2, or at least these 2. Either way. So 2 of these could have been nixed. No complaints of that sort with Amethyst. Apart from this one, I'm happy with all of the others. 1 inner corner shade, no more than that. Just the 1 inner corner shade, which is exactly how it should be. Now, that said, these are not palettes with which you can do, you know, a whole standalone eye makeup look, simply because you're going to need a base shade, an all-over base color to wear over your primer, particularly if your primer is wet. So you're going to need, or, you know, damp. So you're going to need some kind of matte base color there, and then start with these. So that's one problem with them. But that's not, you know, so bad if you own a lot of eyeshadow palettes in your stash, or if you don't intend to travel with just these. So of the 2, my preference, obviously, is for the Amethyst and not the Emerald. Tastes differ. You may like greens more. You may be lucky enough to pull off pastels on your skin tone, frosty colors on your skin tone. So it might work out well. So you can see there are a few of those frosty colors with the Amethyst than there are with the Emerald. Now, for comparison purposes, I'll just show you that topper from the Desert Dusk palette as well. It's called Twilight. So this is duochrome, and we'll swatch it here. Oh no, they're very different colors there. This one's frosty. It's a proper topper. And let's also swatch Amethyst from the Desert Dusk palette. That's very dry to the touch now. I don't know, when I got this palette, it wasn't so dry. Now it's very dry to the touch. I'm glad there wasn't a matte like this in the Amethyst palette. I'd have hated that palette if it had been there. So that's actually somewhat similar to this matte over here, isn't it? Unfortunately, this one has dried up a bit in the pan, and now it comes out, you know, feeling extremely dry to the touch. So I think I prefer this one. I would have loved to see a diamond palette with more duochromes and holographic eyeshadows and lots of texture and pearly colors and stuff. Diamond, my birthstone as well, my favorite gemstone as well. Can't go wrong with diamonds. I didn't buy topaz. I'm sick of those shades. Ruby either, lots of ruddy hues. So I don't want more of those in my stash. That said, 25 quid, these aren't so bad. They're quite small though. I mean, if you look at the Desert Dusk palette, this is a size difference, hang on. So that's a difference. And this has 9 eyeshadows. And this one, 18. Think about it. 9 eyeshadows, 18 eyeshadows, that's a difference. And it's not like the pans are very small, you know, look at that. I think, you know, the spacing has been better there. So this is an eye makeup look that I did with the Huda Emerald palette. I quite like how it turned out. The colors were easy to blend, no problems. This one had a bit of fallout, but no biggie. I mean, it was very soft, and I expected it to sort of shatter all over the place. It didn't. The colors performed better on the eyes than they swatched, actually, to be honest, which is a good thing. And, you know, apart from the fact that there are too pale shades for my liking, too many pale shades, and I would have preferred to see proper greens than the khaki greens over here. Apart from that, you know, I quite like this palette now. So if you are considering the Huda Beauty Gemstones Obsessions palette, that's my take on this, and I hope you found this useful. Not as a huge fan of emerald as I am of amethyst. If you're looking for just the one, my recommendation would be amethyst. Purple lovers, eyeshadow lovers, people who are completely sick of those toasty, reddish, orangey hues in palettes would love these. And they're wearable, they swatch wonderfully. Lots of scope there, different ones, rich colors. They're very rich and vibrant colors, lovely violets and duochromes and purples and magentas, very nice. Emerald, as I said, too frosty and pale for my liking. Some shades that I like, but not, you know, wow. For me at least. This is a very subjective thing. Makeup and skincare, very subjective topic. So let's keep it pleasant, shall we? Let's all agree to disagree. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please do give me a thumbs up and please do hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell, and I'll speak to you in my next video.